All right, welcome into Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shelley, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you had a great weekend. This market's been all over the place for sure. We've got weather involved. We've got geopolitics involved. It's all happening, and we've kind of did an about face. Let's take a look and see how corn's doing so far today. Let's bring up that corn table behind my big fat bald head. We're down by about 6 to 7 cents across the board. September's off by 6.5 cents to $5 even now. $4.99 is the low. That's a penny off the low. And we've had a 20-cent range. Will that give you an idea about where we sit with this stuff? Right, it should. The Dees is down 6 3/4 cents to 507. That too is a penny off the low. And right now we're about 19 cents from the highs. So there you go. About a 20-cent range in corn. We're about a penny from the bottom of it. Soybeans, well, they're higher, but boy, not as much as they were. Let's start with August. 6 cents higher to 14.86 1/4. Not bad. That's in the middle of the day's range, and the day's range is 20 cents right now in August. But let's go out to November. We're up 7.5 cents there to 13.78 1/4, about a dime off the highs and about a dime off the lows. That'll give you an idea about what's been happening with soybeans. If we take a look at the wheat market, boy, this is where it all kind of started, really. We're off here. We're lower in September in Chicago wheat, 6 1/4 cents lower. 6.55 1/4 is last, about 4 to 5 cents off the lows. But boy, oh boy, we're about, 34 cents off the highs? So that'll give you an idea about what's been happening in wheat. If we go out to the Dees, that's 5.5 cents lower there. 6.75 1/4 is last, 4 cents from the lows, and 33 cents from the highs. All right, that's a pretty good picture of what's been happening. Hard red wheat in Kansas City is about 12 cents lower across the board. 11 3/4 cents lower in the SEP to 8.17 1/4. About 6 cents off the lows. And about, 30 cents off the highs? There you go. The Dees is down 11 3/4 cents to 8.21 3/4. Let's go from Kansas City to Minneapolis and take a look at the spring wheat there. That September contract's down a nickel, 8.79 1/4. And we're up that's off about 10 cents from the lows and 21 cents from the highs. So that'll give you an idea. Dees is down 4 1/4 cents to 8.85 1/4. And then finally, let's take a look at cotton. This one's been on a tear. 120 points higher than that Dees contract to 82.42, about 13 points from the highs. Let's bring in our guest analyst. It's going to be Todd Bubba Horowitz. He's with Bubba Trading, and it sounds like he's in Las Vegas, and I think he is. There you go. All right, Todd. Your market's, your weather's hot, but this market, boy, oh boy, it kind of cooled real quick after those overnight highs.
It was amazing, Scott, at how high they were. And I'm looking at wheat was up 20 cents and corn was up 10. And I go, wow, this is going to be a good day. And the next thing I looked at them, they were getting hammered. We're just some wide ranges. I would say from a trading standpoint and from a market standpoint, if we can get a little bit more volume and get a little bit more trade, the action's actually pretty good. Obviously, it's not good when you see them go lower and give up heavy gains, but we can get some trade and get some volume back, which is still kind of questionable here. I think it'll be okay, and I think that maybe indicates that the lows are in and that we could see some movement higher. Now, again, there's no obvious assurances. There's a lot of things going on, but certainly the ability to pop and drop is not good unless we can get a repop to go with it.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm just, if I go to my little bag of tricks and figure out what I think could be the reasons. We saw a weakening China overnight with a GDP number that missed, although it's still a very good GDP number. We would love to have that number that they got a 6.3 or 6.8, but it missed a 7.3 guesstimate. I also think that the geopolitics and that the Black Sea deal, that maybe gave some folks one last chance to sell it. And there's another issue. Sometimes we might be overpriced as it is anyway, compared to what's been coming out of South America. What do you think about that?
Well, it's possible, but again, we're not overpriced in comparison to what it costs to put it in the ground. I think we have to look at what our costs are and what our real production is. And we're not making a heck of a lot of profit. If you're a farmer, you're not exactly in great shape, especially if you don't get a full crop. If you get some trouble here and you don't get out what your expectations are, the profit margins are going to be awfully skinny if they're going to be there at all. And I think that's the bigger concern, because we still hear the nonsense out of the government report of CPI telling us how low inflation is. But when you go to look at the real cost of real goods, they're a lot more than the government admits to.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I agree with you there for sure. All right, stay right there. We got to go away. We're going to pay some bills. We're going to come back and talk more with Todd Bubba Horwitz. He's with Bubba Trading in Las Vegas. We'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I still am the cow guy, and the cow guy can't wear this jacket all day long without looking at cattle prices, right? That wouldn't be right. Let's take a look at live cattle in Chicago. Get up that big board behind my head there. Let's go to the August. It's up 35 cents to 180.52. What do we have? A $2 range, basically, and we're right smack dab in the middle of it. Maybe just, yeah, we are. There you go, 35 cents higher. It's kind of a schizophrenic board. If you go out a little bit further, right behind it, October is down 35 cents, but let's go out to the D sets up 22 cents. 186 is last in the live cattle and D's contract. Let's move over to the feeders and see what's going on over there. We just, steady gains again. August is up 90 cents to 247.55. Got a 4-cent range over there. We're pretty much in the middle of it. Let's look at the November. 85 cents higher there. 251.25 is last in the no feeder cattle. All right. Finally, what's going on in lean hogs? Well, not a lot, really. August is down 12 cents to 96.07. That's kind of basically in the middle of the range, maybe the lower end of the middle. And then we've got a D's board that's up 17 cents to 76.52, which gets us back to our guest analyst who's been so patiently waiting in the wings. Thank you very much, Todd Horwitz. All right, Todd, anything stick out at you when we talk about these livestock prices?
I think they're just too high. I'm not concerned, and I don't want anybody to panic like they have to sell them here. I just don't see a lot of room to the upside, and certainly I have no position myself at the moment, but if I were going to take one, it would certainly be a seller. I mean, I think they're just going to kind of work their way slightly lower. Not that there's any damage, but, we've had a heck of a run, Scott. We've been at all-time highs or made new all-time highs over the last a month or two, 6 or 7 times. And I just don't think there's that much more room to go to the upside. I mean, at some point, high prices will cure the high prices.
Well, to that point, we talk about it all the time, and we've talked about it on my show, but I mean, could the economy really be the only thing that kind of knocks the wind out of this market? I mean, that looks as though if we start to see the consumer falter, which I think they are just a little bit, is that what would slow this cattle market down? Because it seems like every day it levitates just a little bit higher all week long.
With the shortage of cattle, it does continue to levitate. But don't forget that we're going to start to, replenish. And again, the economy is pretty bad. I know what they tell me and what I read, but what I can feel as a consumer, the economy is not in very good shape, and certainly I'm going to watch my spending, and I think that's one of the places you're going to watch. So I think there's other alternatives to beef, and I would expect, like I said, not because I'm worried, but because prices are way too high. I cannot imagine the markets will support them.
All right. Thank you very much for that stuff. Always great to see you. Thanks. Hope you had a great weekend. Todd Bubba Horwitz coming to us from Las Vegas for Bubba Trading, and I bring it back here to Music City, Music Row.